Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In my previous video, I have shown you how to implement Firebase authentication using email and password in a React application. So in this video, I would like to show you how to implement Firebase authentication using Google provider. So let's talk about Firebase in a nutshell. So basically, it is an application development platform used for both web and mobile apps. So you can use Firebase as a backend as a service. So first of all, you can go to firebase.google.com and here you can go to the console by clicking on this button, and once you are inside Firebase, you are supposed to create a project and then register your web app. So I will show you how to do this in a later moment. So for now, let's continue. So here you can see I have already registered one app and I have enabled authentication inside it. So currently you can see I have no users and I have enabled Google provider. So you can see this is my React application that is running on port 3000 and I have a Google sign in button. Here I'm using a third party package which is React Google button. Simply like you can install it, you can import it and you can make use of it inside your application. So for the demo I'm using it. In case if you like it, you can go ahead and continue with implementing this button, or else you can go with your custom button. And also you can observe, like if I go to my home page, so you can see I'm redirecting back to login. So I'm implementing protected routes, and for the routes purpose I'm making use of React Router DOM latest version as well. So let's continue with the demo. I will open my console. Okay, here you can see I have a clear console, and in the application tab inside local storage I have no variables. So let's start signing. Let's click on this button. So you can see a pop-up is opened, and okay, so you are supposed to select your Google account. So you are supposed to provide consent for this application and then it will allow you to continue. So I have already given a consent before, that's why it's not showing up. So on the pop-up you are supposed to do that. And here you can see on my home page, now I'm inside home page. So I'm welcoming the user and I'm using this user email and the user profile image, and I have a logout button. And here you can see I have a response from the Google and it is providing the user information, like you can see the token, display name, email, the photo URL and so on. And currently you can ignore this error. So this is coming from the pop-up from Firebase Google error. So it is not something a blocker for now. The response I have received from Google and my application is running without any problem. So I hope this error will resolve soon. And you can see in the application tab, like so I'm making use of two local storage variables. One is to store the token and the other is to store the user information. So basically once Google has given our user information, we are supposed to store inside a React application, right? So you have to maintain a state management for that. So it can be Redux or context API. In my case I'm not implementing that because that is out of scope, and I'm making use of local storage variables so that we can show that information to you. And this is the token I'm using to validate if the person is authenticated or not. So now if you see, if I refresh again, I will be inside my home page only. If I try to log out now, so now you can see the variables were deleted and we were navigated back to login page, right? So now if I try to go to the home page again, it will not allow because we are not authenticated. So let's jump onto the code base on how to implement it. Okay guys, so I have opened my project folder inside Visual Studio Code. You can see I have cleaned some of the files. So you can see the CSS, all these files I have removed. And inside app.js, you can see I have just welcome text. And inside index.js, I have removed the report web vitals and all. So now, so let me show you what I have used the command to create the project. So inside my project directory, I have used this command npx create reactapp, and then after this installation I have used npm start to start the application. If I show in the browser, so this is how it is coming. Okay, so let's start with the console. So after going to the console, so this will be the welcome page from the Firebase. So we need to create a project here, so select that one, go ahead and give a name for this. After giving the name, let's continue. So we can disable this analysis. Let's create the project. So this will take a couple of seconds for creating the project. Alright, so the project is ready. So let's click on continue. Okay, now once you are inside this project, what you are supposed to do is, so you can see add an app to get started. So we are supposed to add our React web application to this Firebase project. So you can select this web option, and then here you are supposed to provide your application name. So here I'm going with the same name. So this checkbox is for Firebase hosting if you are going with the hosting as well. So in my case, I'm leaving as it is, and let's click on register app. So the second thing is you need to add Firebase SDK, right? Here you can see we have to install the Firebase package, and then followed by we have to configure the Firebase inside our application. So let's proceed with that. So you can copy this. So this is my project directory. Inside here we are supposed to install it. So along with Firebase, I would like to install a few other dependencies, which is React router DOM for routes purpose, and then followed by another npm package, which is React Google button. So let's install these three packages. So in the meantime, like, we can proceed further. So here you can take this information. So let's copy this, and inside our project, inside source folder, create a file called firebase.js, and you can simply copy paste here. Let's remove these comments. So here we have to do two things. One is we need to create a get authentication object from Firebase. We have to import it from Firebase package. So let me paste this as well. So here you can see I'm importing get auth function and Google Auth provider from Firebase auth package. So finally we are supposed to export this app as a default export, because we will be making use of this variable inside a login page. These are the two requirements on this configuration. So let's save this. All right, so let's continue. So from the browser, we can continue to the console. Now you can see one app is registered on this project. So the next thing is we have to go inside authentication. So you can get started. So the first thing you can see, it is asking you have to enable a provider. So for example, so in my previous video, like, I have shown how to enable, how to make use of email and password. So in our case, in this video, we are proceeding with this Google authentication, right? So we have to select this, we have to enable, and then here you are supposed to provide the support email. So your account email address, and then save. All right. So in the users tab, you can see there are no users as of now. So if you deploy your project in the production, in the settings, you are supposed to, inside authorized domains, you are supposed to add your domain here. So currently I'm showing this demo inside localhost, right? So Firebase will allow localhost domain, but when you deploy it to production, make sure to add your domain here. All right. So let's continue with our project. Okay, so inside source folder, let's create a folder for pages, and then another folder for components. Okay, so inside pages, I would like to create two, one for login.jsx. So here I will be making use of React snippets. So this will help us to set up the boilerplate. So if you are wondering how I'm doing this, so inside extensions, so I'm making use of this React snippets extension. So make sure to install this. Okay, so let's create one more page for our home page. So again, RAFCE, React Arrow Functional Component Expression. And inside components, I would like to create one for protected component. So this will help us to protect our pages. So I will implement this in a moment. All right, so let's verify the installation of dependencies. So you can see three packages were installed in our project. So inside package.json, you can verify Firebase and React router DOM latest version, and then React Google button package as well. So let's close this. So let's start implementing with the routes. So open index.js file. So here we are supposed to import these functions and components from React router DOM package. And then, so we are supposed to create a router object. So here you can see I'm making use of create browser router and routes from elements implementation approach. So here, if you go to in the React router DOM website, so on the latest version, I'm implementing nested routes functionality. So this is possible by two ways. So you can configure nested routes with JSX approach, or you can also make use of plain objects. So in our case, we are making use of this approach. Okay, so after creating the router object, so I will update this render part. So here you can see I'm making use of React router provider, and to this I'm processing a router prop, and the value will be this router object. Inside app component, what we are supposed to do is we have to place a hook instead of this welcome text. So this is coming from React router DOM. So you have to import this outlet of component. So inside index.js, as I mentioned, like we will be making use of nested routes. So inside app, let me import the home component here. So here you can see, so when you are inside a root path, so your app component will load initially, and then inside the nested route, so this will be the children, right? So on the home path, on the index route, so we are loading the home page. So this home page will get replaced in place of this outlet. So let's save this and see in the browser. All right, you can see now home page is rendering on the React application. So let's go back to index route again. So let's add the login path as well. So we have to import this login page again. So we have imported both the home page and login page. So if we go to login path now, so this should render login page. So let's verify that also. So /login. Now you can see login page is being rendered. Okay, but we want to protect this home page, right? So we should not allow the user to see home page unless they are authenticated. So we have to protect the route. So this home path I'm protecting with the help of protected component. So let's import this protected as well. So here what I'm doing is, so whenever you go to the home path, which is a slash, React router will go inside protected component, and inside we will write the logic in such a way that if there is a token, then we will allow, otherwise we don't, we will redirect back. This is how like we will protect our home page. So let us implement the protected component. So here you can see from the local storage, we are getting a token variable. So if we have a token, so we are using conditional approach. If we have a token, then we will display this outlet component. So in place of this, this home page will get rendered. Otherwise, it will navigate back to login. So we are supposed to import this outlet as well as navigate from React router DOM. Okay, so let's save both of this and verify in the browser. Now you can see from login page, sorry, from home page, we have redirected to login. All right, so let's implement the login functionality. So before that, I would like to add a few CSS styles. So on app.css, I'm just adding a few styles. So this will make the code center, like you can center the elements. And for the logout button, I will be having the cursor pointer and some padding. So let's save this. Now you can see we have login on the center of the page. So here you can see I'm making use of Google button. So this will come from React Google button package. Here on click of this button, we need a handler. So let's create a function. So when we click on this button, it will execute this function. So let's open the try catch block. If we encounter any errors, let's log it to the console. So here you can see I'm making use of async await approach. When we make a asynchronous call to the Firebase, it will return promise, and you can handle either by using async await or by using .then .catch. So here you can see I'm calling sign in with pop-up. So this is coming from Firebase. Okay, so we have to import this auth variable from Firebase, from our package configuration package. Again, Google Auth provider. And then pop-up, sign in with pop-up from Firebase. So this is coming from Firebase package, and these other two variables are coming from our Firebase configuration file. Okay, so here you can see I'm logging the result. So once we have the result, we are supposed to create local storage variables. So using the local storage API, so we are setting item. So one is token and the other is user. So you can access the token from this user object from the result. And also, since user is an object, so you cannot directly store it inside local storage. So you have to convert this into string format. So that's why json.stringify. So this will convert into string representation. And so once we are successfully authenticated, so we would like to navigate back to home page, right? So here, so we need to create a variable using use navigate hook. So this is again coming from React router DOM. Okay, so let's save this and verify in the browser. Okay, now I can see the sign in button is coming up. So let's open the console, and in the application section, you can see on local storage, we do not have any variables. So let's start with a sign in. Let's click on the sign in with Google. So here you can see pop-up has opened. So it is asking to give consent to this web application. So you can select your account. All right, now we are inside a home page, right? So you can see there are two variables created. One is the token and other is the user. And in the console, you can see we have this user information from Google. So you can see it is coming from login page on line 14. And then you can see this user variables creation is also completed and then followed by use navigate. So we do not have any errors, right? I mean, if in case if we encounter any error, it might end up in the catch block. But you might wonder, what is this error then? So this is coming from pop-up ts file. So this is like, so when you sign in on Google, so there is a pop-up open, right? So because of that, this error is coming up and there is no blockage for our execution, right? So I hope this error will resolve soon. So apart from this, so now you can see like inside home page, we are just seeing the home page, right? So let's open the home page now. So here I'm reading the local storage variable, and also we need this use navigate hook. So we have imported this from React router DOM. So why we need is, so we can display user information, right? So here you can see I have a heading and then followed by I'm reading the user email and then user image, profile image I'm displaying. And then you can see I have a logout button here. So on click of this button, we need a logout handler. So let's implement that as well. So here you can see this is an async function and then it contains a try catch block. On case of error, we will log it. So let's see what is the functionality inside a try block. So we are calling sign out method from Firebase, and then we are supposed to pass our authentication variable. This will come from our Firebase configuration file. After that, we will remove local storage variables and then we will navigate back to login. So let's save this and verify in the browser. Okay, now I can see, so this data, it is reading from local storage. Okay, so now let's click on logout button. So this will remove the local storage variables and this will redirect back to login page, right? So let's click on logout. That's all about the video, guys. I hope this video is helpful and you have learned how to implement Firebase authentication using Google provider. Do like, share, comment and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching and I will meet in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.